what is your approach towards near-death experiences?
I got interested in near-death experiences because of something dramatic that happened to me. This was 1970, so it's 45 years ago nearly. And completely out of the blue, I had an extraordinary out-of-the-body experience. Now, remember, this is before the term near-death experience had even been invented. I knew nothing. I'd heard of out-of-body experiences, or I'd heard of astral projection, but I didn't know anything about tunnels and lights and decisions to return, all the things that came later when Raymond Moody wrote his famous book. So I had this totally extraordinary experience, just sitting in a college room in the evening with friends, and I couldn't understand it. I mean, it didn't make any sense. I was studying physiology and psychology at Oxford at the time. I was learning about the brain and behaviour and learning and memory and stuff like that. And this extraordinarily vivid, amazing experience just didn't fit with anything at all that I was learning. And that compelled me, really, to want to understand it. And that's, in a way, been the whole story of my life, has been trying to understand those 2 to 3 hours in which I seem to be out of my body in another world, experiencing things with extraordinary light and vividness. And the first thing I did was, looking back, a mistake, was to think, well, this proves telepathy, clairvoyance, psychokinesis, precognition, life after death, ghost, poltergeist. It seemed to me all these things must be true because of this experience. And I decided I had to become a parapsychologist and prove to science that, all the closed-minded materialist scientists were wrong, and all of that. That was my great driving force as a young student. And then I began to do some research, and I discovered that I was wrong, and that isn't the way. That isn't the way to understand these experiences. 45 years later, I have a very different view. That's what science does. It overturns, your cherished beliefs that you want to be true. Science very often overturns them and tells you something completely different is true. That's what happened to me, anyway.